Welcome back. All right, news of the day video for all you fine people on the internet for your Wednesday. It is December the 3rd. Starting off at the top of the board, that is how these things normally work. Tyler Seguin. So Dallas already having dealt with Leon Bischel getting hurt the game before. Last night, of course, Seguin got hurt, as I discussed in last night's review. He is seen as being out long-term with an ACL injury, and that long-term likely means this is season ending for Tyler Seguin. That means that the Dallas Stars are going to need some help up front. I would think that they'll be working the phones for a trade if they're not already. The trade market has been very quiet in terms of actual trades, but it does feel like there's more going on behind the scenes than what we've seen so far. This may very well spur things for Dallas. And whichever team jumps into that trade market first, maybe they get themselves a bit of a deal compared to those that jump into the trade market later on. But we'll see what Dallas does to adjust to the fact that Seguin is likely done for the season. The Colorado Avalanche, their ridiculous run continues. They have 44 points through their first 26 games, so they're 18 games above NHL 500, which leaves them 1 point off of the record through 26 games. The record was set by the Sharks. I believe it was 08-09 where they set the record. They were 22-3-1 that season, 45 points for the Sharks through those first 26 games. So Colorado on this amazing run. They look ready to maybe lose a game or two more in regulation during the regular season, and then we'll see what happens come playoff time. But Colorado continues to be at or near record levels when it comes to the run that they've been on so far this season. It's always fun to watch a team go through that and see just how far they can take this. Winnipeg last year, Boston a couple years ago as well. There is usually a team. And of course, back in 2019, Tampa had an amazing run, which of course Tampa fans are like, the less said about that, the better. Got it. So, yeah, we'll see how far Colorado goes with this and what kind of records they can set between now and the end of the season. Michael Misa has been placed on a long-term injured reserve by the San Jose Sharks. In a corresponding move, they've also sent him to the Barracuda in the AHL on a conditioning assignment. San Jose, of course, above the playoff line, and if Misa's good to come back soon, that's great news for the San Jose Sharks and their fans. Misa felt like was starting to get things going and then got hurt. So hopefully he can come back and pick up where he left off. San Jose was not a team that I think anybody would necessarily want to play in the first round this year, should they make it, because you've got Macklin Celebrini, you've got Will Smith up front, you've got Askarov playing really well in net. I think they're an underrated team, to be honest, but so if Misa comes back up and if he can be productive, it just makes them that much more dangerous. Wallstedt, the ridiculousness that is Jesper Wallstedt continues. 4 shutouts in his last 6 starts. 4. And he makes it look easy. He's very positionally sound. He's a very good goaltender. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't give up really bad rebounds. He's a wall right now. And it's a good thing that Wall's in his last name, so it works. I guess in Swedish, Wallstedt means impenetrable wall. Has to, because that's what he's been for 4 of the last 6 games. Been a lot of fun to watch, so we'll see how much further this can go. The weird part is Gustafsson's playing pretty well too, but he's being overshadowed by Wallstedt, who's been just absolutely ridiculous. And so we'll see how much further this can go. But at a time where teams should be figuring something out, some kind of weakness in Wallstedt's game, we haven't seen it so far. So how many more shutouts is he going to get? No idea. It's been an amazing rookie season for Wallstedt. Maybe he's the guy who ends up winning that Calder Trophy this year. I don't see how he doesn't if he keeps putting up shutouts like this. I just don't see how he doesn't end up winning the Calder. So the NHL, not very happy with a recent trend that apparently the Ottawa Senators started, just going helmetless for warmups. This has been a debated topic around NHL circles since the NHL brought this in, that players had to wear helmets for warmups. I believe it's from players who came into the NHL from 2019, 2020, and beyond. If you came into the NHL before that, it's optional. Because if it's a safety thing, you really let people know how serious it is by saying it's optional. Just imagine if seatbelts. Well, you're over 40, so it's fine. If you just get thrown clear, it's okay. But make sure you belt everybody else in if they're under 40. Those lives are important. Anyways, so the NHL sent out a memo to remind teams that the helmets thing isn't just a suggestion, it's a rule. I would imagine there's not suspensions, but fines that could come out of this for teams that continue to flout this rule. But yeah, apparently it started with Ottawa. I think it's New Jersey's the other one that was like, we'll go helmetless. There are some who think this is an overreaction by the NHL to injuries that really don't happen during warmups, and there's others who think, well, safety, it makes some sense. So either way, the NHL sending out a memo. We'll see if there's any fines coming or if anything changes when it comes to warmups. Everybody's going to keep an eye on Ottawa for the next warmup, aren't they? Connor Hellebuyck is apparently nearing a return, according to Scott Arniel. There's no timeline set as of yet, but considering Winnipeg's just huge struggles while Hellebuyck has been out, which I don't put, and I said this in the Winnipeg video yesterday, I don't put it on the goaltending. I don't think the goaltending's been the problem in Winnipeg. I think there's other issues with the Winnipeg Jets. Getting Hellebuyck back would definitely help to mask some of those issues, though, because he does save pucks that other goalies don't. And so the sooner Hellebuyck's able to come back, the better. From the way that Arniel's talking about it, sounds like it's probably maybe a week. Maybe we're looking at a week before he comes back. Pionk's returning tonight for the Winnipeg Jets against Montreal, so that'll help their blue line. Keep in mind that Winnipeg and Montreal are both teams that are struggling, and as I said in the preview, probably going to see some punching when those two teams meet each other. Should be a fun one. The Pittsburgh Penguins look like they're going to get a little bit healthier. Brazo and Acciari are with the team on their 2-game road trip, but they will not play tomorrow. So they're traveling with the team. They're not playing tomorrow. They may play, I think, the next game Sunday in Dallas. So they may play that game Sunday in Dallas. Brazo got off to that ridiculous start to the season. Once he's back in the lineup, we'll see if he can pick up where he left off. And for Acciari, he's a good fourth-line player, good depth guy. And so this can only help Pittsburgh getting these guys back as long as there aren't any other injuries that take place in the meantime. So I've seen the posts on social media. Quinn Hughes had himself a rough night last night for Colorado. The body language of Quinn Hughes is impossible to ignore. This man is miserable. This man is clearly not a happy camper right now. And so it has led to some more discussions of whether or not he's on the trade market. I've seen a couple articles today talking about how Detroit would make a lot of sense. Agreed. Detroit would make a lot of sense. The Vancouver Canucks, if they're going to trade Quinn Hughes, you have to have the assets that the Canucks are going to be looking for. I would think first or second round draft picks, top prospects, and young players. Detroit has that. It is something that, if you want to talk about New Jersey has that as well. So Quinn Hughes, the rumors are out there, obviously for the Canucks, if they do go into a full sell mode, Hughes is the one that would bring back the best return. Although I did see the article today on Alvin's trades so far and the returns they got and everything. And, I wasn't happy with the Horvat trade at the time, and I was told I was overreacting. I still don't like the Horvat trade looking back at it. So I'm okay with the Miller one, because the Miller one, they were kind of painted into a corner. But the Horvat one I never really liked. So yeah, the Hughes trade rumors are out there. We'll see where he ends up going or what ends up happening. But just based on the body language and the fact that we're only just at the start of December, like this could get worse. This, if his effort, his being Quinn Hughes, if his effort has really dropped off and his body language is miserable, this could absolutely get worse. So the trade rumors are out there. We'll see what ends up happening. I don't think he ends up going to New Jersey just because everybody expects it. So that tells me he's going to go somewhere else. But yeah, I do think Hughes probably ends up being moved. I think the Vancouver Canucks are in a very tough position right now. But if they finish 32nd overall, they can draft third at worst. Third. This is a draft where there's at least 3 really good players. I'm actually okay with that. I would prefer a season where the Canucks go ahead and embrace the tank, finally, and finish at the bottom of the standings. And if they lose the draft lottery and draft third, that's okay. And then try to build from that, rather than going out getting players to try to, patch things together, win some games, and draft 8th or 9th. This is a team that I think needs that top 3 prospect. So we'll see how things go from here. Rasmus Ristolainen of the Philadelphia Flyers is nearing a return. He's at practice in a non-contact jersey. No word yet on how long it's going to be before he's in a contact jersey, but the fact that he's at practice in a non-contact means he's taking that next step. He has yet to play this year, I do believe. I don't think he's played since March. So getting Ristolainen back should only help Philadelphia once that takes place. Philadelphia already a team above the playoff line. So getting Risto back should absolutely help them there. I'm going to skip the one in pink here, go down to Utah. Utah's recalled Lamoureux. Rooney's been sent down to the AHL after clearing waivers. Not a huge surprise he clears waivers there. Lamoureux's a defenseman, good defenseman, and we'll see how things go for him with the Utah Mammoth in his recall. If you want to watch PWHL hockey, there's a doubleheader tonight on TSN in Canada. You can also watch on their PWHL YouTube channel if you're outside of Canada. The Golden Knights are playing at the Fleet. Yep, Vancouver at Boston. So that's going to be fun. And the Sirens are playing at Seattle. So New York at Seattle. New York's off to a pretty good start. Both Seattle and Vancouver so far putting up very expansion-y kind of records. But yeah, that Golden Knights at Fleet, that should be a fun game. I know I haven't been reviewing the games, but I have been watching parts of games, and I have been paying attention to what's been going on in the PWHL. So if you feel like watching some PWHL action, it's on TSN in Canada. It's on their YouTube channel outside of Canada. Going back to the pink, and where we're going to finish this today. So the Olympics. It's a fascinating one. I believe it's Matt Larkin who was asked about what the percentage chance was of the NHL not going to the Olympics. And so he asked Bill Daly. And Bill Daly's answer was the percentage chance is based on what the percentage chance is of the arena not being finished. And he basically confirms that if this arena is not going to be done in time for the Olympics, the NHL is not going to the Olympics. I cannot imagine the disaster, the PR disaster this would be. And you can't just put on an Olympic tournament in North America. You can't just last minute pivot and put on a tournament in Boston or Montreal. This would be an absolute disaster. So if this building's not ready, and there's the discussion too about the fact that it's not quite NHL regulation size. I did see some confusion yesterday. Olympic ice now is NHL regulation size. So the fact that it's a few feet shorter than what we're used to in the NHL, while for many it doesn't seem like it's a big deal, to the players it would be. That would be a difference in terms of the size of the arena, and I'm not sure how you split that off either. Do you take like 6 inches out of each end and then a foot out of the middle if there's 2 feet difference, if it's 3 feet, 4 feet? Either way, it's going to throw off their timing, and yeah, so that's already out there. We know that the arena is going to be a little bit smaller, and then there's the question of whether or not it's going to get done. So, yeah, the NHL's up against it. I've seen posts too saying this is just the NHL's a disaster. This is not the NHL. This is the Olympics. This has nothing to. I mean, the NHL doesn't look great, sure, I guess, but it has nothing to do with them as to whether or not this arena is done in time. The NHL has been raising the alarms on this arena's completion for months now, and it definitely sounds like this is going to the wire. So don't be surprised when there's further updates. I hope the next update is it's fine. They're going to do a test run with it, because without even testing the ice and you're going to run the Olympics on it, like I've been saying, I just have this nightmare scenario in my head of if the ice isn't any good and a player gets injured because of bad ice, yeah, it's not gonna play well. Like, I get that NHL players really want to play in the Olympics. This was a huge part of getting a new CBA, but there's just that uncertainty that's out there. So we'll see what happens, but it definitely sounds like this arena is going down to the absolute wire. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, as always. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. It is Panic Index Day, so look forward to the Panic Index later on. And as I mentioned in the preview, I'll mention again here, the review is going to be a little bit later tonight because I'm going to the Abbotsford game. So I'm going to enjoy myself some Abbotsford hockey, which a lot of people haven't been enjoying necessarily because the team's been bad, but they won the only game I went to see in person, so maybe I can make it 2 for 2 tonight. Thank you guys so much for all your support. Hit like and subscribe in the event you may not have done so already. That being said, I'm done for now. I'll talk to you again soon.